Oh, hello.
What are you doing, buddy?
Just waiting for you to call. I was warming up in the bullpen just in case.
Yep. Well, another week of Marco having no respect for me as a human being. So we figured we'd do another one of these instead.
Yeah, I mean,
It, you know,
it's
it,
okay. I threw a couple warm up pitches. I was ready just in case, just in case. But I cannot let this go though. I can't let it go.
let what go?
I can't let go that just remember this day that I've stepped in on a moment's notice. I'm here for you. So when I'm late or when I have
Oh,
background noise,
I don't want to hear.
I
This is like one chip. This is not like you can cash this chip. This isn't like a fucking like a yearly pass, okay, pal?
I'm just next time there's background noise or I
No,
want you
no,
to
no, no.
just remember
Because
this day.
I
Remember September 12th,
never,
2021.
never forget.
Never forget. I was here for you
Oh,
when Daddy Daycare couldn't come do his podcast.
wouldn't, wouldn't, wouldn't,
Wouldn't do his
wouldn't.
podcast, right?
Fuck
You
him.
know.
I'm not giving him any credit anymore.
Look, first comes the marriage, then the baby, and then you just lose a friend at that point.
I knew it. Yeah, I knew it was. I knew the writing was on the wall. He,
Right.
it's not like we haven't been doing this for like 90 weeks, me and him,
Right.
every weekend. And then all of a sudden he's just forgetting he can't pick up a phone and text me and say I can't make it or I don't want to do it anymore. It's just almost like a subtle ghosting, except for the fact that he's still in our group chat and participates.
Well,
So
but here's the funny thing is, who would have thought 90, how many you say? 90 what?
I mean, like probably 90 weeks on or off
So,
with yeah.
look, at 90 weeks ago, if we had to put a bet on who would have been, it probably would have been me. I would have been the guy that would have not showed up. Or I look, 90 weeks later, I'm still here standing in.
Yeah,
I just
but
want you to remember that.
here's why. Because you've here and then we'll get off of this. Because I mean, this isn't so much like taking shots at him, but you're the one that decided to kind of be active and do TikToks and be on social media and make this podcast a part of it. And so now you're reaping some of the benefits. You have interaction with people, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like it compels you more to continue doing these because you get feedback from them, and you and part of that feedback, good, bad, and the ugly. You're entertaining people, and you like to entertain people, as you've said, which is why you also want to get back in the ring. So,
Right.
so I kind of understand why you've stuck with it and you enjoy it and you volunteered
Right.
to do an extra this week, or maybe
Right.
going forward we'll do three of these.
I was going to say for the week. I have a feeling I'm on now. This is
Well,
it.
well, I have lots of like Breakfast Club and Jace people that are more than willing
Right.
to do stuff. But maybe we will go forward with this, where if we were to do three of these a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe we designate one of those to be. Well, we always have a guest on with us, and that guest could.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do
Yeah.
that. Maybe we'll do.
Except when we do pick the guests, let's just not pick Billy Five ever.
Well, I figured that Billy and Bobby would be kind of like in a regular rotation amongst
Right.
other people, but that they're like you can always count like once every month or two to hear one of those guys on, because
Yeah.
they are entertaining and and also they are usually willing to do it,
Yeah. Right. Right.
which is a major
And
plus.
they both right, and they're both willing to attack me. So okay,
Right.
I get it. I get the point here.
Well, I mean, again, part of this, what you and I have created is kind of that's kind of a theme of the thing, is that when we get a guest on, they kind of go at you. So
Hmm.
we gotta stick with what we've done or what we've established. So big Sunday today. I guess
I'm excited.
what the sad thing is that this will be heard Monday after
Right.
after the game, so all predictions kind of like go out the window. We'll look like assholes if
Right.
if we had done this Saturday and it had gone up Sunday, and a majority
Right,
of people
right.
had listened to it, then they could have also kind of like we could have done more predictive stuff. But yeah, it is big because finally we get NFL football back.
All right, I'm excited. But both of our games are at 4. Giants and play at 4. Dolphins play at 4. I
Yeah,
think so.
it's really rough because you wake up, so your eyes pop open Sunday. Like
Yeah,
I don't know, mine. I was up at 9, and you know
I've been pacing around the kitchen for I
I'm
don't know what to do with myself till 1 o'clock.
right till 1 o'clock, and usually I know about the Giants, but Dolphins games are usually on at 1. So to wait an extra 3 hours is kind of rough, man. I almost want to go back to sleep until 4 o'clock, but I know that
Right.
that's probably not possible.
But I'll watch the 1 o'clock games just because I do
Yeah,
fantasy football, so I got to make sure that I got to keep my 2 year winning streak alive. So
I like I don't play fantasy, but I do enjoy watching other games. The problem is that I don't get the red zone, so I'm stuck
yeah,
with
I do.
I'm stuck with
I'm not
whatever
cheap. I'm not cheap like you.
whatever they give me. It's not about cheap. I just never think about it.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for today. I'm literally pacing around the kitchen.
This is the least
Uh,
prepared I am for the NFL. I haven't paid attention to the preseason at all. I think
I didn't either.
I watched part of one game.
Right.
I don't know who's made the final 52-man roster, 52 or 53. I don't even know what it is. The 52-man roster. I don't even know who the final. I don't know what our. I probably when it's going to take me like half the year just to remember the names of the guys on the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
For sure.
whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. Excited to watch some football, and it's funny because like last weekend we had wrestling, right? We had AEW. So like yesterday, I was like college football on, but I really wanted to watch wrestling, but AEW wasn't on. It's not on. There was no shows on Saturday, but I'm that into watching it that I just pulled it up on my phone and started watching clips of stuff from AEW.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait till Wednesday. I've not felt like that since I was like, late 90s,
yeah, yeah. The back at
early
the
2000s.
golden age of wrestling when it really peaked
Right.
in the late 90s. Yeah, I think we've gone full circle in the cycle here, and we're back to exactly where we were then, in exactly the
Right.
same situation. Except I don't think this time around the WWE is in any jeopardy of going broke.
Right.
Like they
Yeah.
were then, but
No.
but that but that they could lose their standing as the top promotion at some point in terms
Yeah.
of ratings and whatever.
For sure.
It's leaning in that direction. Um, I,
And
I
yeah.
along with you have started getting a little more excited. I haven't watched SmackDown yet. I probably should before Monday. I heard it was good. Uh, I I am leaning towards starting to actually watch Ring of Honor that I tape every week and just delete just to see what they've got going. And I've kind of like thought about finding one of the ways to watch Impact just to check it, just out of curiosity to check it out because apparently the rising tide raises all ships is kind of a legitimate thing you can apply to this. I hear that because you get these not every free agent is going to the AEW. So
Right.
some of these other companies are benefiting from this.
Well, so like I have the channel for Impact, so sometimes I watch it, but so they're doing like Christian, who is the Impact champion, but he's in AEW. Uh, they're doing this like 5-on-5 match where Christian formulated a team against 5 guys from Impact. It's pretty cool, but it's like all Impact guys. Christian's the only non-Impact guy, really, even though he's the champ.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
Can you
I saw some
can
Ring
you
of Honor stuff.
can you spread the rub to 9 guys in one match?
I mean, apparently. And then I saw Ring of Honor stuff, and like EC3 is like main eventing.
He
He's
should
in
be. He should be.
title matches at ROH, and I'm looking at the ROH cards, and it's solid stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, wrestling's exciting. I did watch Rollins and Edge last night, and I watched the end of it. the last like 10 minutes, it was fantastic. Maybe the last 5 minutes or so, it was fantastic from
Yeah.
SmackDown. So
So look what they're doing. They're starting to give away pay-per-view quality
they have
match.
no choice.
Yeah. They're for everyone saying that they're not feeling the heat coming up behind them. They are. They're making some decisions that they wouldn't normally make.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think they
You know,
have to. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, you can't. SmackDown's a better show. Raw is awful.
yeah,
SmackDown's a way better show.
yeah.
So, yeah. And I was gonna say. So I know we're talking about wrestling. Maybe we make this podcast. If I'm going forward, maybe we make it a wrestling review podcast of the week. Because look, the Furlough files we have 2 days a week. I really cannot come up with any more than 2 days a week of stuff. So,
Well,
but
you always forget your stories, but you have them.
I know.
Whether
But I
it's
will say,
whether it's
there's a reason I'm
revisiting
saying this, though.
whether it's revisiting the Indian guy for a second
Yeah.
Indian meal in 2 days, or it's
Well, we'll talk about that.
or it's
but
like all your like wrestling and loss prevention and all these other stories. You've got a lot to bet. Plus, I mean, if you ever wanted to really open up the book, you have a
Yeah.
lot of good stories. But so that's up to you. I think it would involve us watching more wrestling to do that.
Yeah, but I'm feeling it now.
Okay.
And the other reason I say this is because, so, the last 3 lives I've been on TikTok,
Everyone's talking wrestling.
67% of my followers are from the UK now.
Yeah.
And they love wrestling. They know AEW, they know old WWF, they know WWE, they know, they watch ROH and Impact, and they know their local wrestling scene. The amount of wrestling talk the last 3 has been absolutely insane because they like wrestling more than Americans, apparently. But they've been asking me, like, so everyone now, who's your favorite wrestler? Everybody asks me that of all time. Shawn Michaels, hands down. Way better than Bret Hart. I hope Valente's listening to this.
She's not. She's not.
She's not. No, she could give 2 shits about us.
No.
No, but yeah, like I keep getting asked that. I got asked. I think I told you this yesterday. Someone said, if you could create a Survivor Series team, who would your 3 teammates be? So Survivor Series, I don't know. Is it 4-on-4? I don't even know. Or is it 5-on-5?
I don't know. You're the one that started this conversation.
Right. So
you
I
should
don't
know
anyway,
if you had the conversation.
because I think they've changed it.
They've
like,
probably
a couple
changed it.
times.
I think it used to be 5-on-5, and now it might be 4-on-4.
4-on-4. So they told me, somebody asked the question. Survivor Series would be a 4-on-4 match. It happens every, like, around Thanksgiving time. It's a WWE pay-per-view. It used to be WWF pay-per-view.
But it used to be like, what did it used to be tournament style?
Maybe like back in the day.
Yeah, because there used to be like a bunch of Survivor Series teams. It wasn't like it wasn't like it was like they were all fighting each other at once.
No, yeah, like a bunch of teams,
Yeah.
and then like the match would be like a 4-on-4 or a 5-on-5, and then it's elimination, and then like whoever the winner was, it was elimination, and the winner is like the winner is whoever like are last to stand. They're the survivors.
I'll be honest,
So-
I never got into Survivor Series, which is why
No,
I
because-
never paid attention enough to actually know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about now.
Right. I mean, it's a major pay-per-view, a major show for them, but right, like I always like Royal Rumble better.
Yeah.
Just my personal opinion. Anyway,
For gimmick matches.
so
yeah.
somebody asked me yesterday, and I said, oh, so are we talking current or can it be any? And I thought only that guy was going to respond. It was literally like comment after comment. All time. Everybody kept saying, we want to know your all-time Survivor Series team if you could pick 3 partners. And now I'm going, okay, all these people from the UK love wrestling that much that they're like, they were into it. So I said, okay, so Shawn Michaels, pick Shawn Michaels. That'd be my number. He's my favorite of all time. But like old Shawn Michaels, not like new Shawn Michaels. Not like now Shawn Michaels. But I would pick Shawn Michaels. Second, I would pick Chris Jericho because I think he's the GOAT right now. Like, he is one of the greatest entertainers, wrestlers of all time. Like, there's no doubt he is, like, put himself onto Mount Rushmore. I don't think you would disagree with that, would you?
It would be hard to argue pulling off a top 4 all-time guy to plug Jericho in, but if but it would also be hard to argue he doesn't deserve to be in.
Right. Just
but
because
like,
of what he's
you're
done.
not going to say like, oh, Dusty Rhodes or Ric Flair shouldn't be up there, you
Right,
know.
right.
You know, and if you're saying there's only 4, it's really hard to plug him in because there are some people that you couldn't justify pulling off. You know, Rock, Austin, like these guys, but it's also hard to argue Jericho doesn't deserve to be in there. It's a weird.
Well, I mean, longevity, number one.
Yeah, it's a weird puzzle though.
The guy's been everywhere and he's done so much and he's still doing it at a top level. Like,
Yeah.
so I would pick Jericho. And then my third partner, and I think it was just, I mean, like as a kid growing up, this wasn't a WWE guy originally, but Sting. Like to me, Sting was always, like as a kid, he was super cool. Like who didn't want to be Sting? I mean, for Christ's sake, Jackie painted his face like he sat in the front row. But,
yeah, in all fairness, he was like 8 years old at the time.
right. I mean, listen, not for nothing, he probably would have did it when he was, 28 years old, I'm sure. So,
yeah.
But Sting, because always thought Sting was cool, and now again, think about like Sting now. Sting he is in amazing shape. He's on TV every week for AEW, and him just doing his Stingers, scream, his yell, it still gets me going. Now
he's on the wrong side of 60, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. He doesn't look it. He doesn't look it at all.
No.
Now, I would say that I think your team was put together lacking a little bit of like actual considerate thought towards the match. I mean, if you're talking all time, I would just argue that once the all time discussion begins, if you don't immediately include Andre the Giant in any like team match, you haven't thought it through yet,
Well, I mean, I was thinking more of like who
you were thinking of like an entertaining group, not winning the actual match.
Right, but even like okay, but if that was the case, like you could pick like Andre. I mean, Big John Studd was a monster, but even like I started to think like Eddie Guerrero. Like I would want Eddie Guerrero on my team. He was amazing.
Right.
Like,
plus, he would cheat and help you win.
Right.
So he would cheat. He would cheat and steal.
You could go so many like even today's guys like Kenny Omega or even Roman Reigns. Like look, WWE is absolutely boring, but he has been fantastic for them in his bad guy heel role.
Yeah.
But I guess you could pick a lot of guys, but it's interesting that they care about.
Brock Lesnar would be.
Brock Lesnar.
If you had
Kurt Angle.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, if you wanted a dominant team, if you put Brock and Andre the Giant on it, then it doesn't matter. You could have Spike Dudley on it; it wouldn't matter. You're still winning,
Right. I mean, you could really have me on it because I'd be the weak link. But
well, you're definitely the guy. If you're predetermined to lose that match, it's because you're the one with his back on the mat.
right, yeah. But it's true. But no, I was amazed at how into wrestling they are.
Yeah.
Compared to like Americans, and it was crazy. I mean, they're like telling me like there was people like, oh, like you should come over here and wrestle, and then one guy's like, oh, I know some indies here, like, and Mark James was on, and he's like, oh, you should contact them, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy, like like. They definitely love their wrestling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so next week we'll watch some stuff and we'll talk about it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Or Saturday. If
either one.
Yeah, either one. But
and I would love,
I have no faith in my phone ringing.
No, right.
To tell me.
No, I'm changing the pencil into a pen right now.
Yeah, pen yourself in.
I'm penning myself in.
Yeah.
But so we could talk about wrestling. We don't have to talk about wrestling the whole time, but I think we should talk a little review of what we watched during the week.
All right, then I'll try to watch
because
more.
I think we're both of us are enjoying it more now because of AEW.
Yeah.
It's made us. I mean, we talk about it every Wednesday night. We're sitting there chatting about AEW and how awesome it is. And
not only
did
that,
you watch?
Not only that, but me more than you probably, uses the DVR a lot and just watches it later, so you can skip through commercials or or slow
Mm-hmm.
parts. But AEW is the show where I consciously make an effort to be on the couch in front of the TV as soon as it starts, to watch it live, sit through the commercials, because
Right.
I want to see it immediately, and that hasn't been a thing since, again, the
Yeah.
late '90s, the Monday Night Wars, where you would literally have to decide which of the two shows you wanted to watch live while the other one was recording, and then you go
Right.
back and play it on your VCR, the other
Right.
show, or
Yeah.
you
And I,
or
yeah.
you would try and flip back and forth. But that was usually, if you did that, you always missed the best stuff watching the other
Right.
channel.
Right. Right. You get, yeah. No, always. But that was the fun of it. But did you watch Rampage on Friday?
Yeah.
I mean, like, Andrade and Pac, like, that's like a pay-per-view match. It should have been a
Well,
pay-per-view match, but I
it
guess,
was.
right.
They just got bumped for whatever reason.
But what a match that was, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like
It
for
was,
free on TV on a Friday
and
night,
I
It
like
was
that.
like
I like that they got right to it. Like when the show started,
in the ring.
they were already
Right.
in the ring, and they just did
Yep.
did the ring announcement and rang the bell.
Right, right. No bullshit. No,
No,
right. Like
not eating up 4 minutes of time doing
with a package
entrances,
or, right. Yeah.
yeah,
Or,
and video packages
yeah.
and all that other shit. It was like,
Yep.
let's go, let's do it.
No, agree. Yeah. And that's why I like
Plus-
watching AEW. It's
Plus,
just to the
because
point.
that show's only an hour long,
Right.
and you want to get you want to give everyone a quality amount of time, which is another thing I like about their show, is that the matches have the time to do what they need to do.
Right, right.
You don't have these, like, I mean, every show's gonna have them every now and then, but you don't have these bullshit 3-minute matches. That
Yeah.
that it's like, what's the
And they pack in, for an hour of TV on a Friday night, they pack in some action.
yeah.
I mean, even 2 hours on a Wednesday night, they really pack it in there.
And they remember the use of women, ironically, which is something that the WWE's had a real problem
Right, so-
with lately.
Right. Did I see that WWE had no women on, right?
Yeah. Other than maybe like some promo stuff, but no matches. 2
Right.
weeks in a row on SmackDown, and this SmackDown was supposed to be a big match that included, I don't remember if it was like a 3-way or a tag match or something like that, but it was supposed to have Zelina Vega as one of the participants, and it's the day before 9/11, and
Right.
it was kind of like, I haven't seen the show yet, but I assume if they did anything patriotically involving mentioning 9/11, it was on that show. And her father died in the towers
In the towers, right?
at 9/11. The old WWE would have made sure that, like, she opened the show with some heartfelt thing, voiceover with a montage of 9/11 stuff, and her talking about her dad and how
Right.
motivated her, and it's all that shit. And today's WWE, they cancel the women's match due to time and don't even let her get on TV. She had like a special outfit made for that night, and she had been tweeting about how special it was going to be in Madison. It was obviously a special show because it was at an MSG.
Right.
You don't
right.
think they booked a show in MSG in New York for 9/11 or the day
It's
closest?
actually pretty shitty they did that to
Yeah,
her.
they really. I mean,
Right.
on all the women for bumping them as opposed to something else, but and not having women's matches.
And then you watch the women on AEW, and it's top of the line, like, it's real, it's rough, it's rugged. The women are just
most of it. The problem
Right.
is when they throw like a Riho in there. I feel like her style,
Right,
like
right.
she has a style that's made for a different type of wrestling.
Yeah.
And when you put her in with these girls that are like twice the size of her, and I'm not like fat girls, but like just taller, built,
Yeah,
strong
right.
women that are beating the shit out of each other, and then anything Riho's doing in the ring is just totally unconvincing. You're not buying it.
Yeah, because she's so little.
She's so little, and even if she were to do like shoot punches, they are still not going to look like they do anything,
Right.
let
Right.
alone trying to like throw quote fake punches that look even
Yeah.
more fake when you're 80 pounds soaking wet. But
Yeah. No, that's true.
I mean, I like her, but
Yeah.
you can't have her working a match with Statlander and Britt Baker.
No, right. But that's the thing. You've got Statlander, Britt Baker. You've got Jamie Hayter now. She's a monster.
Yeah.
You know, you got all of them. Right? There's so many of them there. There's so many women wrestlers there that, but it's
Yeah,
cool.
but
It's
like
cool that they feature
Thunder
them.
Rosa or
Thunder
yeah,
Rosa, right?
all those types.
Nyla Rose. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, just, you know, all these women can work circles around like a Nia Jax or like a, you know, Tamina or even freaking Natty. I can't stand her. So,
I don't have a problem with Natty. I think she's stuck in a situation
yeah,
where she's like you know, trying to like survive, you know, trying to survive in this pit of
yeah,
bullshit that they've got going on there. But I mean, Tamina's whatever. Naya just, I have not seen like,
dangerous.
I haven't seen her, I haven't seen significant improvement in any area. Every, it's
No, for
like
10 years.
it's 10 years and people are still getting dumped on their heads and
Right,
still getting their
right.
noses broken and
Super
whatever.
dangerous.
And
Yeah,
then if you're gonna say all that, also, look, I mean, you're supposed to be a WWE wrestler. It's
right,
like I understand that they push you as this big monster because you're like, I mean, I don't want to draw too much anger from body shaming people, but she's an obese person. And
yeah.
you could book that as like a powerhouse type of character, except the fact that she doesn't work on her strength. You could see she has no strength in the ring. She's just
But she literally hurts everybody.
right, but that's also because she has no strength. She can't get people up. She can't do the things she needs to do, and and like whatever. At least she has the cardio to work in matches.
Right,
But like 10 years, you have at no point you're motivated to like consult a dietitian or work on some weight training or anything. It's just no,
right.
I'm good. I'm good. Just
Yeah.
you know.
And you know, I'll tell you how much of a wrestling mind frame I'm in. What I did this morning, I attempted to do. So I want to put more of my wrestling on my YouTube page, and I went and found some matches from when I was the PWF for Carino, the heavyweight champion. You know, I was like the longest reigning champ. So I went to YouTube and I found like a couple matches. So
With
me
when
versus CW
I'm
Anderson.
gonna jump in here for a second.
Yeah,
When we start our Spite Wrestling promotion,
yeah.
uh,
Or Spite Wrestling.
did I tell you about all that? The discussion
No,
we had after
no,
AEW. I'll tell you off the air.
no.
I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
Because it involves some name brands and stuff like that.
Oh,
That we don't want to draw heat from. But uh, when we start Spite Wrestling,
right.
I'm gonna make you the champion, but you can be the heaviest weight champion.
Oh, the heaviest weight.
Sorry, so go ahead.
That'll piss people off too. That's the best part.
Yeah,
No, what
I'm over your fat shaming, and other people gonna get mad at for stupid
right.
reasons.
Fucking asshole. Anyway,
Go ahead, C.W.
yeah.
Anderson. Yeah, yeah.
So I found my match. CW Anderson was an ECW. So I found my match with him, and I was like, okay, it was a good match. I loved it, and it was in somewhere in North Carolina at like a military base. We had to have clearance to wrestle there. Like it was for the military base, the family and the friends, and we had to have clearance to wrestle. It was super cool. So we wrestled there, and so I screen recorded the match, and I was going to put it on my YouTube. I sat there for 20 minutes because it was a 20-minute match, screen recording, and I go to look. It didn't save. It couldn't save it for some reason. So I wasted 20 minutes trying to
Why
screen record it, but
why are you
I don't know how
screen
else to
recording?
pull it. How else do you pull the match from
There
YouTube?
are like sites that you just enter the URL and it'll let you download the
What?
match.
I didn't know that.
Well, maybe you should have asked me.
Well, now I know. You're gonna have to help me with that after because there's a couple matches I want to put on there.
Let me just say, Google download YouTube, and
Oh,
it should
here
give you
we go.
some. It should give you some sites, you'll find a site that says enter the URL here. You enter it, and then it gives you
Okay.
options for downloading at different qualities.
All right, I got to do that because I want to put some. People asked me yesterday on the live, and I was like, okay, I got to get some matches up.
Screen recording it.
You know, and it didn't even work. 20 minutes of wasted my time. Because I want to get them up on YouTube. I want to get there's like CW Anderson. There's one with Yuta. I worked Yuta. Yuta's now in AEW.
Yeah.
I want to put that up. I got some John Skyler. John Skyler is now signed to Impact. So I want to get that up.
You
I'm gonna use who I can use to
name dropping these 10 cent
name dropping left and right,
these
right,
10-cent names.
right. But I feel like that if I could get some of that up, get my YouTube page going a little bit. I'm up to 144 subscribers, so I really gotta push that. I'm gonna do some unboxing stuff on there, but I really want to get the wrestling stuff up because I want to start pushing that a little bit more. If I'm gonna attempt to make a return here for 2022, probably should start caring. I worked out yesterday after 9 days off because of a little neck injury, but I lifted yesterday. I feel better, so I'm gonna lift again today. Probably before the Sunday night game, sometime between
after the
the end
Giants,
of
sometime after the Giants lose and before the.
there's no way they're beating the Broncos. It's not happening. So awful team with the worst quarterback. But I don't know. Just
I mean,
get back into.
Listen.
Well,
I watched your most recent TikTok this morning while I was laying in bed, and apparently every morning now is an hour and a half of TikToking before my feet actually hit the floor.
Right.
Unless I have to pee really bad. But I thought to myself, oh man, he has made no progress towards fucking getting in the ring.
You can't see. That's all. You can't tell.
I can see enough.
No,
I can see
tell.
from like a few inches below the titties up, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait to see that guy in the ring. And,
and
in this corner,
relax.
Resembling a pile of pudding.
Yeah, relax.
Well, I'm just wondering how you're going to manage your new booming YouTube. I mean, not you. Well, YouTube, but your booming TikTok career of tasting food every day. With this,
I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
This whole diet and exercise thing. You say that, but I hear no conviction in your voice when you said that.
Yeah, it's the British diet.
What are you gonna do?
Well, we don't know what Billy looks like. We haven't seen him in a while.
We do. He posts pictures all the time at the bar.
No, he's an old Mushman. Come on.
All right, let's see. That's 32,
32,
39. Make sure I tell Billy to check it out. The Old Mushman. That's the name of this podcast, The Old Mushman.
Old Mushman.
Let me write that down so I don't forget it.
I mean, come on, listen. He hasn't given me a location, nothing. I got nothing.
Yeah, well, okay. Just be ready. He may I mean, you got a date. You got November 7th.
Well, and what do you want me to do? Just show up anywhere?
Well, if you guys are like fucking doing a no-ring fight at Target parking lot, that may be how it happens. But it's apparently it's November 7th,
Yeah, we'll see. I may send him a text today.
Are you banking? Are you just kind of gambling that it's not going to happen on November 7th? Are you like rolling the dice on it being in 2022?
I kind of am. I'm not gonna lie.
I kind of am getting that sense now that you even though he got a date from Dave, that you have no faith that there's gonna be any follow through on this, and that there's gonna be no match booked until next year. I mean, listen, if that comes to pass, you're gonna look like a genius. But if that date stands firm and they find a building, you're in big fucking trouble.
I know, but I mean, come on. We haven't heard anything. Come on.
All right. I might have. If you don't text Billy today, I might.
I'm going to text him and see if he's got any info so that I can come to the podcast Wednesday with.
It's hard to promote it, not having any information.
Right.
Also,
I know.
Yeah. So.
I know. I mean, look, I could ask Blake, but fuck, he's probably part of this, and he can't even give me info.
Blake doesn't know. He's not in these high level discussions. Isn't he Isn't he flying somewhere today anyways? Wasn't he flying to call some matches with like
Was he?
Yeah, with that, he was doing commentary, and his partner was I forget Lindsay Snow, but
Oh, that's right. That's
but I
right.
don't
That's right.
remember
Yeah.
where it was. I don't remember where it was, but I
Yeah, I
did
don't
see
know.
him check.
He doesn't tell his boys anyway,
No, he
so we
doesn't.
don't know where he
We
is. He
have to
could be in Atlanta for all I know. What the fuck? He wouldn't
right.
even call me.
We only know when he's doing something when he checks in at the airport.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, that's funny. Well, yeah. So last bit of wrestling news here, and then I got to go heat up my
well,
leftover
no,
chicken
no,
parm because I'm
but
starving.
I also need the Indian food update. But go ahead
Oh, okay.
with your
Well,
chicken.
I was going to tell you one thing. Well, I'm going to have chicken parm for lunch here.
Yeah.
But I was looking at some of my memories on Facebook, and old memories popped up from like 9, 10 years ago with some wrestling stuff, which is funny. And it was when I was the FOW heavyweight champion, and Chuck Oren, the referee, but he was like in my pocket, you know, like he was and we were like trying to convince. There was like, I guess I had a match, and his son Mike Oren was the referee, and he screwed me. So we did a video where we're trying to convince Mike where he went wrong, and Mike's like, "No, you know, I'm upholding the standards of a referee," and we're like, "No, you're supposed to let me win." And I was watching some of that, and that was some really good like stuff that during that time. But then uh, I don't mean to talk about SuperCon, but I'm gonna talk about it for a second. But
Yeah, you
then
can. Who cares? Fuck it.
when I was like, you know, I was looking at that, and then I saw Shaka, who's used to be a wrestler and good friend of mine. Shaka was at SuperCon, so I was like, oh, so it made me think too about some of the wrestling we did at SuperCon when I was Super Mario, and you were you were booking it, and I was Super Mario. Like, I want to be Super Mario again at some point. I almost like want to do like a Three Faces of Foley, where like I come out as like I'm like, you know, I'm AJ wrestling as AJ the Italian guy, and then next thing you know I come back out as like Tommy Vandal, and then next thing you know I come out as like Super Mario. Like, I feel like we have to do that at
I
some
think you
point
need to
during
put
2020.
but I think you need to do it where I think Super Mario has to be in between, almost like a
Right.
like a like a palate cleanser, so that
Yeah.
like they don't, you know, you're most in disguise as that. So then when you
Right.
come out as like however you do it, if you're Tommy Vandal is the
Right.
last
Right.
guy or something. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a Royal
This has to
Rumble.
happen.
That's like a Royal Rumble type of match, huh?
Right. Right. This has to happen somewhere along the world tour. You
Or
know.
you just you if you get into like some semblance of good shape, it would save us a hell of a lot of money on our first Spite Wrestling promotion if you just wrestled 3 matches as 3 different guys.
That's funny. Three different, like, but like as if I'm not the same person at all.
Right.
Like, it's literally three
Oh,
different people.
100%. 100%. Like that could
Right.
be a rib that goes long term. Like you're just like at
Right.
any given night we don't know who you're going to show up. Just like Foley.
Right.
It's just any
Right.
given
Right.
night we don't know who we're getting, and you're even playing it like maybe one of your characters decides to call out another one of the characters. You get so
Right.
confused with your own bullshit.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be funny.
Well, here, we'll take it home with the Indian story. My Indian food story.
Yeah.
So we talked about it last, Furlough Files, that I went and got some Indian food, and the guy was like, not very friendly. And me and you had talked about it, like I was gonna go in there and be like, "Hey, buddy," like I'm gonna make this guy like me, because he didn't want to speak to me. He wouldn't give me the Wi-Fi password. Just total, like, didn't want to talk to me at all.
One word answers, if that,
Right.
if that.
And he said the word no 3 times to me, but that was the only word he said. So, right. So I go back in there, and it's funny because I walk in
The next day.
the exact next day, right?
Yeah.
I walk in, and when you see maybe it's just me. If I was him and somebody had walked in 2 days in a row, I'd be like, "Hey," like I would say hi or "Hey." He just didn't say anything to me. He just stared at me, but knew who I was, right? So I was like, "Oh, hey," and he's just like nods at me, like no words spoken. And he's like, I said, I want to try something new today. And I said, do I go with the chicken korma or the vindaloo? And he looks at me and goes, korma. Like just like that, like low tone. He kind of tilted his head a little bit when he said it, and he goes, "Next time you try vindaloo, we go down the menu." That's what he said to me. So I was like, "All right, I guess I'm ordering chicken korma today." And then he like types in his iPad, and he goes, "Spicy?" And I said, "Yeah, because yesterday's wasn't that spicy. I want a little bit more spice." He goes, "Spicy." He said it twice. He said, "Spicy?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Spicy." So now I'm gonna get spicy. All right, good. Then I order it comes with rice and then naan bread, and then the naan bread is like kind of like a flat, uh, like I don't know how
It's
they
like a
cook it. It's so
pita.
good.
It's like a pita.
Right, right. And so I got butter naan bread the first day. So then he goes naan bread, and I said, "Yeah, side." He doesn't even let me order it. He goes garlic. I said, "Okay." So I'm now getting garlic naan bread. No choice. It was his choice. Uh,
Right.
so I get the naan bread. I'm waiting. I'm
It's
waiting.
almost like you're dealing with like a soup Nazi type, or like
I kind of feel like that, and it's funny
one of those
because
places where you sit at the sushi bar at the
right.
at the counter, and he just you just get what he decides to give you.
I have a story about that too, by the way, a different place. So anyway, I order my food and I'm sitting there waiting. He just says no words to me, like we're not speaking. He's standing there. There's nothing, like there's nobody there. It's just me and him, like in the whole place. So the food finally comes out. He gives it to me in the to go bag because I took it to go. He leans into me, like almost into my ear, and I kind of lean in because I see he's leaning in. I'm like, what's he gonna say? And all he says is, "They give you free dessert." That's what he says, and that's it.
I feel like
And
this
I was
guy
like,
is
"Oh,
taking a shine to you.
well, I don't know. Or am I building that relationship now? Like he sees me 2 days in a row. I was friendly. Maybe he's coming around and now he gives me free dessert. Like that's his way of, like,
Well,
you know.
he definitely opened his vocabulary up to you from day one.
Well, also, I think he's working me. I think he's reeling me in, I think I'm
Oh,
reeling him in with the free
100%.
dessert.
This is
He's
like,
reeling me in.
oh no, this is
Yeah.
the drug dealer giving you like a free sample before
Right, right, right,
he tells
right.
you the next
So
ones.
So I went, ate it. Absolutely fantastic meal. The dessert was weird. So I open it. He doesn't tell me what it is. I open it and it looks like orange soup. And it's like very thin like soup, but it's cold. And there's these chunks of stuff in it. Don't know what it is. Some sort of either fruit or vegetable. Couldn't tell. But the orange stuff was like a custard tasting. And it's like super thin, but it was like soup. So I ate the whole thing. Like it was amazing.
What were the
Ate it
chunks?
all.
Was it fruit?
I don't know. I went on their menu to try to find out, and the only thing I could think of it was something with vegetables, but the vegetables were cold, but super soft and didn't taste like vegetables.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. It was amazing. So I ate it, but he's reeled me in now. So next week when I go, I'm gonna try the vindaloo. Let's see what happens. I think he's opening up to me. We become friends.
He's taking you down the menu.
He told me that. That's what he said. That we would go down the menu. He said it in so many words.
You
That
need
we're going to go down the menu.
you definitely need to document these experiences.
Yeah, so I got to get him to get on film though next time. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but we're
Well,
working there.
you
We're
could
working there.
try.
We're becoming
You
friends.
could try if he
Right,
if he like swats the camera out of your hand and stabs you in the eye, you'll know it was a bad
right.
idea.
Then I know, right. But he's probably the guy that would swat the camera, stab me, and then give me another free dessert and be like, "We'll be okay. I see you tomorrow." Like
Right.
like he wouldn't think like he would just be like, "It's okay."
Yeah, he's
So
just setting ground rules,
right, right.
establishing
So we'll see
boundaries.
next week. But you talk about the sushi places. I'll end it with this. I was in San Francisco sometime in had to be 2002 or 2003. I went to San Francisco and there was a place called the House of Nanking, and it was like a must-eat place in San Francisco, super like famous. You got to wait in line. So I go, and the line is down the block. I wait because like I got to try this. So I get in line, and finally I get in, and they have tables, but they sat me at the counter where like the chefs are cooking right there in front of you, and I sit down, and there's no menu, and the chef guy turns around to me and says he's a Chinese guy. He says, "Is there anything you can't eat?" And I said, I don't eat shrimp or fish or like that. It was like a sushi slash Chinese restaurant. And I said, I'll eat sushi, but like I don't want a cooked fish meal. And he literally brought me like plates of 5 plates, but one by one, and it was whatever he decided. It was like I didn't have a choice. I didn't get to pick what I wanted to eat. He just made 5 dishes, and as I finished one, he would hand me the next, and they were just like samples of stuff, sushi and Chinese food, and he even picked my beer. He wouldn't even let me pick my beer. I didn't even ask for a beer. He gave me one of those. What do they call it? Ichiban or
Yeah,
Riku?
yeah.
I don't know what they're called. He just put it down in front of me, and yeah, I ate and had that. But I never got to pick anything. But the funny part about the story is two things. One, when I was in there, there was a table, and everybody was like taking pictures of these guys and like hawking around them. It was Rage Against the Machine was eating at the table behind me. I was at the counter.
Ah,
So it was 4 guys from Rage Against the Machine were eating, and they were like there. They waited in line and everything. Two, I went back there when I lived in California. I went back there. Shit, you're talking. If I went there in 2002, I had gone back there in 2000, like 18 or 17, 18. It was still open, still had a line down the block
yeah.
that long. So, yeah, super popular place in San Francisco.
I had
But yeah,
a similar situation in LA when I went to visit my friend from college, Steve, and he's like, "We're gonna go get sushi tonight." There's this place. The guy, you just sit there, and he used the soup Nazi reference. You just kind of like you just whatever he says goes. We're gonna just eat whatever he
right,
feeds
no
us. Blah blah
choice.
blah. He's like, "We're gonna pick Dave up," and Dave lived in the valley, and he was my roommate. And then when I graduated, Steve and Dave were a year younger than me. He was Steve's roommate, so we're all like, best college friends. And we'd go all the way out in the valley to get him, and then go to this place. So it was like a 2 hour like ordeal from talking about how great this food was to getting there, and I'm like starving. And we sit there, and the guy's doing his thing and just sliding out these little plates with like one or two things on them, and
Right,
you're
yeah.
trying them. And my
You're
friend
just basically testing them. Yeah,
and
like,
and I'm used to like even back then. This was like fucking maybe like again like 15 years ago or 10 15 years ago when we did it 15 years ago. And I'm used to like the sushi buffets where you're like or back then it wasn't even the buffets, it was where you would fill out these little tickets and they
right,
would
right,
take
right.
them and then they'd bring the stuff to you, but it was unlimited. It was like you could keep filling out tickets all night of I want this and I want this and 2 of these and 4 of these. And so I'm used to like just like I like sushi, but I'm definitely like a quantity over quality guy. And my friend Steve is like, oh my, like every time we get a bite of something, and literally he was just serving us bites of things. At least that's how it felt. He'd be like, oh my God, I've never had fish this fresh. And he was like almost
Yeah.
like trying to keep selling me on it, like the experience. And I'm like, two things happened. The bill arrived. And
And how much?
it was like 4 or 5 of us, and the fucking bill was like $450.
Holy shit!
I almost shit my pants because I'm like this is 15 years ago, and I'm like, that
Right,
was like I think I spent half my budget for the week, like
on one
there,
meal.
yeah, and two, I was fucking starving afterwards. Like it was like I hadn't even eaten yet,
Right, because
and
you're just tasting
so
shit.
he's like raving about this place, and then I'm excited to go. We go. It costs literally an arm and a leg, and I'm starving afterwards, and I'm so enraged over
Oh yeah,
like the combination of all this stuff. And I'm still hungry, so that makes me even angrier. I demanded he go through the nearest drive-through, and I ate like a Wendy's or something. I was so mad, and I was like literally cutting a promo on him the whole time. I like they barely served us any food. I'm starving. This is bullshit. It cost me $125 with a tip. Like a $400 meal. The tip is ridiculous too. I was so mad at him. But it was the same thing. It was exactly the same thing. It was whatever he decided to give you. And it's the same thing. He gave us a beer. I didn't ask for a beer. But who knows? It was it was the bullshit. Let's put it that way. Oh, yeah. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
and like that would piss me off because you're so fucking hungry after. And
Right.
I was not hungry when I left this place, but I did go. Now we're gonna talk about food for another fucking hour here. 2 hour podcast about food. Um, there's two restaurants that I'm talking about California. Rafi's place in L.A. Was one of the best restaurants. It's probably one of the best I've ever been to. It was Armenian food, and the food just kept coming out. Like every time I turned around, the guy's bringing another plate. I was with my boss, and he was just like, "Don't worry about it." And every time we turned around, there was like another plate coming out, and I'm like, "Dude, how much food are we getting?" And he's like, just whatever you don't eat, we'll just take back whatever. And it was just like Armenian food was. I never had Armenian food before, and they just kept bringing food. And when the bill came, there was three of us, and it was like $400. And I was like, holy shit! But they just kept bringing food out. Like he didn't even order anything. They were just bringing it out. Like that's like the type of restaurant it was. We're like crazy.
Yeah.
One of the best meals I've ever had. But then I went to a sushi place in Santa Rosa, California, and it was all you can eat sushi, but made to order. So it's not a buffet. It was made to order. So you would fill out that sheet and they would bring it to you. But it was $37 a person.
Yeah.
And it was all you can eat sushi, but made to order. And I was there for like an hour and a half, me and this other guy, and we were just, pounding down sushi. Because there was a point where I was like, A, I need to be full, and B, I'm getting my $37 worth out of this
Exactly.
motherfucker. Because
Exactly.
I don't care how sick I get. But yeah, California's got some good food. That's for sure.
Like
But
there's a restaurant called Duke's. Uh, I guess north of L.A. on the off the high off
yeah,
the PCH.
yeah, I heard of it. Yeah,
It's famous for a lot of reasons. One of is that I think that was where Mel Gibson got drunk before he had one of his tirades with cops or something.
yeah.
But like apparently the breakfast or brunch buffet on the weekends was like tremendous. So on that same trip that we did the Japanese choose your own adventure or whatever it was, that we did that, and that place was legendary. Like,
Yeah, it's like a famous place. Yeah,
I mean, the
Like
food was
we may need to do a California food tour because there's a lot of famous spots in California for food.
yeah.
Like just great spots for food.
Well, to be
Yeah, I mean,
honest, to be honest, everywhere, but it depends what you're looking
yeah,
for.
right. But LA has some like iconic food places and just some of the best food. The two best meals I think I've ever had was the one was that Armenian food. The other one was Burmese food, and the place it's in Oakland and it's called Burma Superstar. That we went with a group of people. There was like 16 of us, and they ordered just ton of food for this event, and they just kept bringing it out. But I never had Burmese food before. It was the first time, and it was so good that I had gone back by myself when I was in the area one time because I was like, I got to eat this again. But the place was probably one of the top two. Those two are the top two places I've probably ever eaten at. And I've like food in New York is great, but those two I never had food like that before. It was amazing.
Yeah,
So, all right, we've bored enough people with football, wrestling, and food talk today.
yeah. Food and wrestling we should keep separate. We should keep the
Yeah.
states of the
So,
different state lines
hey,
separate.
look, we're learning here. Look, you're calling me in for a third podcast. Like we've got to figure out our way here. You know, I can't talk about movies, so
Right. That's because you
yeah.
don't watch any.
No, I mean, the only movies we could talk about is Goonies, Catch Me If You Can, or
Eleven, 12, and
Ocean's
13.
11, 12, 13, and the one with the women. I like that one too.
Ocean's 8.
That's the only. That's the only movies I know are those. So we could stick to and Manifest if you want to talk about Manifest. That's it.
I would prefer to throw
Not talk
Manifest in the
about Manifest.
garbage, but
Yeah,
apparently I've got to watch another season of it.
right. It's coming up. Don't
Son
worry
of a
about it.
bitch. Uh,
Yeah. All right.
All right, fat boy. Hey, hang on
I
the
gotta go
line
eat
for a
chicken
second.
parm.
I'm gonna shut this
Yeah.
off. I got to tell you about Spite Wrestling.
All right.
Hang on. All right. Bye, guys.